Hello and good morning, friends. Welcome to the CEC-UGC live lecture. Dear friends, with the fifth lecture in series on new media, today we would be talking on social media. You have heard a lot about social media, but today we are going to give you the in-depth knowledge on social media. And for this very discussion, we have once again with us in our studios Dr. Anubhuti Yadav. Dr. Anubhuti Yadav is head of the Department New Media, Indian Institute of Mass Communication. Dr. Anubhuti Yadav is a prolific professor, I would say, because she, along with her lectures, give you different examples which makes the lecture lively as well as easier to understand. So without wasting any time, I would like to welcome our guest, Dr. Anubhuti Yadav. Dr. Yadav, welcome to the UGC lecture.
Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be talking about social media, and as we all know that many of us spend a lot of time on social media. And after the emergence of social media, in fact, we have decreased the time which we spend on traditional media, which means on television, radio, and most of the time we spend on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So there are new social media platforms which are emerging every day. So when we talk about social media, it is fundamental transformation has happened because of the emergence of social media in the way we consume information and content. And it could be hard news or it could be the light entertainment. So it is actually changing the way we are consuming information, we are consuming news, we are entertaining ourselves. We have seen that nowadays we entertain ourselves with a lot of messages which are coming on WhatsApp, the videos which are available on WhatsApp, and when it comes to consuming news, we actually consume news from the Facebook posts also and from the Twitter also. So when we talk about social media, basically it has evolved from the broadcast model to the network model. So when we talk about the broadcast model means the content was created by a group of people, organization, and then it was disseminated to a large number of people. So the model was one to many. But it has evolved into a networked model, which means that nowadays the content can be created by anyone. Any individual can create a content. Anyone can write a Facebook post or send a tweet or produce a video and upload it on a YouTube and share it with the world. So the major difference is that we have moved from one to many communication to many communication. So that is the major change which has happened after the emergence of social media. So in this lecture, this is what we are going to talk about. First is that we are going to get into the definition of social media, what exactly social media is. Most of the time we say that when we talk about social media, we say that these are only social networking sites, but there is much more to it rather than just social networking site. Then we'll be talking about the different social media platforms. So if I'm saying that it's not only social networking sites, so what all is included under social media, that is what we are going to talk about. And then we'll have certain case studies, which means that the social media has a very important role in empowerment. It has very important role in society. There are a lot of movements which has taken place in the society using social media. So that is something which we'll be discussing about. And so now I would like to begin this thing with one of the case study. In fact, in some of our previous lectures, we talked about some case studies related to the impact of social media. But when it comes to the impact of social media, and if we say that the social media has a lot of power, so Arab Spring is the one example which comes to my mind, and that's the most important example, and that's the most it's a very good example which shows the power of social media. And Arab Spring, as we all know, that that's the revolution which has happened happened, and a lot of protest and demonstration which occurred in the Middle East. That is something which had happened, and it started in 2010. And it started in Tunisia. It started in Tunisia with, when one fruit seller, vegetable vendor, he set himself on fire, and he was actually protesting against government and the harassment by the government and the corruption by the government. And when he did that, and after his death, the massive revolt happened, in that country. And when the revolt was happening, a lot of people were out on streets. And at that point of time, the traditional media didn't cover that particular thing. It was the tweets that went out, that actually informed people across the world that something of this sort is happening in this particular company, in that particular country. And, it was this particular campaign and the protest was a startling success, but it didn't happen overnight. There are a lot of things which had happened, which means that a lot of tweets went out. People participated in that particular, protest very actively. And when the people were participating in that protest, the government, actually Tunisian government, they tried to hack, the Facebook account of people whom they feel that, they are playing a very active role, in organizing those protests and all. So what happened that at that point of time, protesters actually, asked for help from the activist, or the activist. And at that point of time, there was, the hashtag, that was the hashtag Anonymous, which started trending. And, the Anonymous is an internet gathering, and it's a group of activists and hacktivists, those who are there on net, and, they are broadly against internet censorship and control. So they actually, waged a war. They paralyzed, the president's site. They paralyzed, most of the ministry's website and the stock exchange. And they also, gave a lot of information to the users, how to organize protest also, and how to handle the, the cyber bullying, cyber crime also. And, they also set up the proxy sites, so that, the people can access, Facebook and Twitter, even it was, blocked in that particular country. So these are the things which started happening, but at the same time, the Tunisian government, they had another, response to that. So they started, hacking, and they launched a phishing attack, and they, try to, find out the passwords of, the email addresses and the Facebook accounts. And then at that particular point, yes, the Tunisian government was spying on, the people of Tunisia, but till that particular point, there were a lot of tweets which went out to the different countries, and the people in the different countries, they also stood for the people in Tunisia in solidarity for the Tunisian people. And the result of this was, the president, within certain weeks, the president had to step down. So this is the impact of the social media and what social media could do. And in fact, this incident which has happened in isolation in one particular country, this also led to a regional chaos, which means that the countries in the Middle East, they also took inspiration. They also got inspired with something which was happening in Tunisia, and they started the revolution, and the protest started happening in their countries against the dictatorship. And if you want to know more about what happened in the Middle East and about the Arab Spring, Guardian actually has created a timeline on that, and the timeline actually documents how this particular the Arab Spring started, and how it spreaded into the different countries, how the people they protested against that, what was the reaction and the response of the government of that particular country, and also what was the reaction of the international organizations, and what was the outcome of that particular thing. I'll just give you a glimpse of that interactive timeline, which is a very interesting timeline. So I would suggest that you should take some time out. You just have to type in a search query, which is the Guardian interactive timeline on Arab Spring. You'll be able to reach there, but I'll just give you a glimpse of that particular timeline. So this is the timeline which you can see, the path of protest, and here you can see the different countries. Algeria is there, Bahrain is there, Egypt, Iran, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Libya, Morocco, Palestine, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Tunisia, UAE, Yemen. So these are the countries wherein these protests had actually started, and this is a timeline, and this timeline actually tells us about the protest, the government response to the protest, political move, regime change which had happened, and the international or external response to that. And you can navigate through this timeline through this navigator also, which means that you can see what all happened in the different dates and in the different months, and how this protest actually spreaded in the different countries, and what were the responses. So if you go and click on to any of the response, say for example this, I've clicked on Syria. So here you can read the entire, the content related to this, and this is something which is of 7 September 2011, and this says that the Syria's violence escalates sharply with up to 28 people reportedly killed across the country, as France bluntly accuses Bashar al-Assad's regime of committing crimes against humanity. Similarly, when you click on any of these, I mean, you'll be able to see like what was the event, what happened at that point of time, and also you'll be able to read the entire article in detail. So just type in the Guardian interactive timeline, you'll be able to reach here, and do explore this particular timeline to know as much as you can about the Arab Spring. So this was about the case study which I wanted to discuss with you. Now on social media, which means that this is what we were saying, that what exactly is social media. So when it comes to social media, there are certain things which comes to our mind. So if I'm saying that it is not only social networking, so what exactly it is? So is it social networking, or it is social bookmarking, or is it wiki? So this is what we are going to understand, what exactly social media is, and what all does it include. So if you look at the definition of social media, when we talk about the media, I mean, it's an instrument of communication, like a newspaper or a radio or a television channel. That's an instrument of communication. But when we talk about a social media, it's a social instrument of communication, wherein the people are involved in that communication. Or if you look at another definition, it's an online platform that doesn't just give you information, but interacts with you while giving you that information. This interaction can be as simple as asking for your comments or letting you vote on an article. And social media, on the other hand, is a two-way street that gives you the ability to communicate too. So basically what we are saying that, here in social media, the most important thing is it's a two-way communication, and people are playing a very important part in this, rather than, just, one individual, sending information to a lot of people, or an organization sending information to, a lot of people. Here the people are creating messages, and they are interacting with each other and creating content. So if you look at the top 10 online platforms, these are the platforms which I have taken according to Alexa ranking. These top 10 platforms are Google.com, Facebook, YouTube, Baidu, Yahoo, Wikipedia, Amazon, Twitter, Taobao, QQ. Now, other than three, which means Google, Baidu, and Yahoo.com, which are the search engines. Google we know, Yahoo we know, Baidu is a Chinese search engine. Other than these three, out of 10, all the other platforms are the social networking platforms, which means Facebook is there, YouTube is there, Wikipedia is there, Amazon is there. That's an online shopping. You can go there. You can rate, the different products, which means that it allows people to, communicate. So, and then Taobao is there. Taobao is another online shopping platform. It's a Chinese platform. And then the QQ. QQ is it's an instant messaging platform. It's a Chinese instant messaging platform. So you can see that out of top 10 online platforms, 7 are social media platforms. So the social media, what does it include? It includes social bookmarking. It includes social news, social networking, social photo and video sharing, and wikis. and any website which allows user to interact with the website, or the interact with the people who had actually set up the website, or interact with other people who are visiting that particular website. That comes under social media. So if I have a website which is a dynamic website which allows me to post content there, so that is also is included into social media. So now let us try to understand what is social bookmarking. We have read books many times. We keep reading books. And many a times what happens that when we have to revisit, a one particular page, or if we leave that book, and we feel that, okay, if I come again to this particular book, I should be able to reach to this particular page. So what do? We actually bookmark that. Right, we bookmark that particular page. So next time when we pick up that book, we reach on to that page and we start reading it again. This happens on the web also. This happens on the internet also, and this is what we call social bookmarking. Here, what we do, we bookmark web pages. For example, I'm going to a one particular website. I like that website, and I like a one particular web page of that particular website. So what I do, I try and bookmark that page, and to bookmark that page, we have number of platforms available which will help us to bookmark the web pages. Also, why is it called social bookmarking? Because in the earlier case, when we are reading book, it's an individual thing wherein I am bookmarking this, and I'm again coming back to that book and I'm reading that particular page. But when I'm saying social bookmarking, and especially in context of internet, what happens that when we bookmark that particular page or a web page wherein I've seen some interesting article, one is that I bookmark that. I also give it a tag. At the same time, other people also give it a tag, which means that we are also categorizing, or we are also classifying that particular content on the web. For example, I read an article which is on technology. So I find it very interesting. I would like to bookmark it because I would like to revisit that page again, maybe when I'm doing my research. So what I'll do, I'll give it a tag which is called technology. But since it is available on net and it is available for other people also to use, so maybe other people can give it a tag which is called startups. So if someone is searching technology, then also they'll come onto my page. If they'll search with startups, in that case also they're coming onto my page. So basically what we are doing here is, and what community doing here is, that they are tagging those particular pages, and this is also called folksonomy. We know the taxonomy. Taxonomy is like, this is the term which is being used in science, and it's for the classification. And here it is called folksonomy, which means that the people are involved in classifying, the content which is available on the web. So the social bookmarking service, it's a centralized online service which enables user to add, annotate, edit, and share bookmarks of web documents. And the most popular social bookmarking website is Delicious, which was founded in 2003, and it has popularized the term social bookmarking and tagging. And tagging is, as I said, I mentioned earlier, it's a significant feature of social bookmarking systems, enabling users to organize their bookmarks in a flexible way and develop shared vocabularies known as folksonomies. So this is what the social bookmarking is all about. I'll just show you two social bookmarking platforms. One is the Delicious and another one is Stumble Upon, and how it works. So this is the Delicious platform. Now in Delicious platform, there are a number of things which you can do. One is that obviously you need to have your own account. You have to start your, you need to have your own profile, the way you do it in Facebook or Twitter. So here what you can do is, this my link shows, what all links I have bookmarked. After that, similarly, like the way you have it in social media and Twitter, you have your own network, which means the people you are following, or like the other people who are following you, that becomes your network. Then discover is another thing, which means if you want to find out something, you can find it from here. Trending is like what all link people have actually bookmarked, and what is that link that number of people have bookmarked, and that will start coming as a trending item, and then you can add link. So this is the network. This is like how you discover here. This is the trending thing, and then you can always add link from here. So whatever link you want to add, you just add link, and then you can give tags to those particular links to add to your account. So this was the Delicious platform. The second platform is the Stumble Upon platform. This also works like the Facebook, and this is also like is based on curation, which means that you're bookmarking number of links here. So I would like to suggest you to explore any of these two social bookmarking platform. Now, what this social bookmarking can do? Now, social bookmarking is very important, especially in marketing. One is that the social bookmarking sites can increase the brand awareness. Obviously, there are a number of social bookmarking sites which are very popular. A lot of people spend a lot of time there on these websites. So if your brand is there, if the link of your brand is there, or like if you have written any article related to your product or service, if that is there and the people have added that particular link, so it will increase the brand awareness. Second is the social bookmarking website help in increasing your website search engine position by creating high quality backlinks. Now this is something which is very important, which means that if we really want to come on the first search engine result page, so we need to have the quality backlinks. Now the social bookmarking actually provides us a quality backlinks, which means that when people are going there and when they're clicking on one particular article, that means that they want to read that article. So that becomes a quality backlink. So through those social networking websites, they are coming and they are reading the content there on your website. And this social bookmarking sites help in increasing page rank. Obviously, when we are talking about the quality backlinks, so which means that we are having lot of traffic on our website, and it will increase the Google page rank. Then social bookmarking websites help in faster indexing of blog posts. Then the social bookmarking sites help in increasing website traffic. Social bookmarking sites help in reducing website bounce rate. I mean, this is something which is very important. Many a times what happens that when we visit websites, we just go and try and see content there. We surf here and there. Some of the content which we find relevant, but some of the content we don't find relevant, so we just exit from that particular website. So that is called the bounce rate. We don't go deeper into that particular website. We just look at the home page and we just get out of that particular website. But when it comes to this social bookmarking, what happens that through social bookmarking you're going to a specific page. For example, there is an article on social media which has been there on the social bookmarking website. So when I click on that particular article, I know that this is something which I have to read. I'll go to that article, I'll spend some time there, and then I'll go out of that website. So it reduces the website bounce rate. And social bookmarking sites, it also helps in making your blog post viral. So these are the things which the social bookmarking can do. Now the second is social news. So we said that when we talk about the social media, the first thing was the this bookmarking. The second one is social news. This is also called news sharing. There are a number of platforms which are available on which you can add the links of the different news items, and people interact by voting for articles and commenting on them. And there are two platforms which I'll show you. One is the Dig platform for this, and another one is the Reddit platform for this, and you should explore these two platforms. Now in this platform, what is happening that the people are sharing links, and at the same time they're rating the content also. So when they're rating the content, so what you see on the front page is not something which is given by one particular organization, news organization. It is something which is rated by the readers, by the audience, and they feel that this is the quality content, and that's how it is. It appears on the first page, or which means that amongst the top 10 results. So this is also a very important platform which shows the power of the community in deciding what is good and what is not good. So, and now coming on to social networking, which is very popular, and that's why most of the time we say that, whenever we talk about social media, we say that, it is social networking. So it is interact by adding friends, commenting on profiles, joining groups, and having discussions. There are a number of social networking platforms. We won't discuss all the platforms, but like whatever the major platforms are there, we are going to discuss that. Facebook is the most popular, social networking platform, and if you look at the number of people who are there on this particular platform, there are 1,379,552,500 people who are there on Facebook, and this is the data which I've taken from internet stats, internetlivestats.com. That is another platform which I would like you people to explore, because that gives you a live data, and in fact I'll show it to you that how you can see the real time data on this particular website. As far as the number of internet users are concerned, number of people who are there on Facebook, number of tweets are being sent in a second. So that's another platform which you should be exploring. So this is the internetstatslive.com. If you look at this particular website, you can see the real-time data, which means that the internet users in the world, total number of website, emails sent on one particular day, Google searches in a day, blog posts written today, tweets sent today. So if you are doing any research, if you are working on any news story related to internet, and if you want to have a data, you can go to this particular website. And if you want to explore more, you can click on any of this, and you can get the more information related to that particular title, whatever it is. Say, for example, here we are talking about the total number of websites. So this is something which you should explore. So coming back to Facebook, we know that it's a very important social media platform. It allows us to connect with the people. Now, there are two things which are there in Facebook which are very important other than having our Facebook profile, and that is the Facebook page versus Facebook group. Now, this is something which we need to understand. When do we should have the Facebook page, and when should we have the Facebook group? So the page is basically it's like your own profile page, but your profile page is not visible to all. Your profile page is visible to only like if they are your friends. But the page is basically public. It's visible to everyone. So, and the groups are basically, it's up to you. You want to make it a public or you want to make it a closed group, it's up to you. But the page is always a public. So for the different organizations, say for example, one particular organization wants to be on social media, so it's always advisable to have a Facebook page rather than having a Facebook group for that. So this is about the page and group. So another platform which we have, and the social media platform which is very, very popular, and especially like, when we are talking about news nowadays, the Twitter is also shaping, news. We can see that, there are a lot of tweets which have actually become an integral part of the news. If you look at the newspaper also, or if you look at, the bulletin in the evening, you will see that, there are a lot of tweets they have taken place in the mainstream media, and they also actually try and set the agenda for the mainstream media. So we'll be talking about Twitter also, like after 5 or 10 minutes, and these are the platforms which you should be exploring. Also, the sites which I have actually suggested to you, these are the sites which you need to go to. One is, I've suggested that there is a site which is by the Guardian, which is the the interactive timeline that gives you an idea of how Arab Spring actually spread it in the different countries in the Middle East. And second is the internetlivestats.com. And thank you very much, and we'll meet after 10-15 minutes. Welcome back. We were discussing about the social networking platform, and we discussed a little bit about Twitter. So in detail, we'll be discussing about Twitter now. We know that it's a microblogging tool, and if we talk about the Twitter, it's we can send 140 characters through Twitter, and Twitter nowadays have become a very important medium, and especially for the journalist. One is to send the information, and also as a source of information. And Twitter has also changed and enhanced the way people communicate with each other and with brands and with the social movements. We have seen in the past that the Twitter has actually played a very important role in the social movements. Whether we talk about the Arab Spring, or we talk about something which had happened in our country, which means like the Chennai rains and the Chennai floods which happened last year, and Nepal earthquake. So the Twitter actually played a very important role in the social movements. Twitter has also empowered users to raise money for people in need and coordinated rescue efforts. So the Twitter is a very important platform nowadays, more important than the Facebook. If you look at the tweets per second, not all seconds are equal on Twitter, but if you look at the average tweets, so per second there are 6,000 tweets which are sent out. While around 6,000 tweets are sent in an average second today, over 20 times that amount have been tweeted in a single record-breaking second on August 3, 2013, when people in Japan were viewing and tweeting about the animated movie that is called Castle in the Sky. So it depends upon the event also. It depends upon what is happening across the world. For example, in 2008, at the time of the U.S. presidential election, there were a lot of tweets which were sent out. Similarly, when the Michael Jackson died, there were a number of tweets which sent out at that point of time. So on an average, there are around 6,000 to 7,000 tweets per second, but this keeps changing depending upon what kind of event is there. So why people use Twitter? There are a number of reasons of using Twitter. The first one is to connect. We want to connect with the people. We want to connect with our friends. We want to connect with our families. We want to connect with the people who are important. We want to connect with the people who are in power. We want to know what is happening. So basically, it is used to connect. Second reason for using Twitter is to record. Many a times we visit, number of places, we do number of things, right? So we are using Twitter as a medium for documentation. So this is also used for recording events. For example, one particular organization, if they have a Twitter handle, one is that yes, they need to share, what's happening in their organization, but at the same time, it's a very nice platform to document, whatever is happening in that particular organization. So when you look back, you'll be able to see, what all happened in which month or in which year. Third reason for using Twitter is to share. We need to share a lot of things. We need to share maybe like our feelings, or we need to share, what's our view on whatever is happening in society. We want to share, what's happening in politics. So if we want to share something, we are using Twitter, and also to stay in touch. So for example, in Chennai floods, at the time of the Chennai floods, the people actually used Twitter to stay in touch with their near and dear ones. This is something which is very important, and especially those who are into journalism. If you need to track the Twitter trends, and as I said earlier, that the tweets are becoming very important, and especially in news, because the tweets are integrated in news. And if you want to know like what is the Twitter trend, one is that yes, you can go to Twitter and you can find out what is trending there. But at the same time, if you want to know like what is trending world over and which hashtag is trending at a one particular day or at one particular time, so this Trends Map is another platform which you can use. I mean, this though it's a paid platform, but you can always have a trial version. You can try it for a month, and you can see that like what are the different hashtags which are trending in different countries on a one particular day. So if you are writing a story, that will help you, like what people are talking about, one particular event in the different countries. Then another, social networking platform is social photo and video sharing. This is like something which we all know, because there are a number of such platforms. One is Instagram, Flickr is there. So here you can share the photographs with the world. And another thing is that, there are a number of reasons of doing is that, yes, we would like to share it with the people, the different photographs. We might have visited different places. We want to tell them that, okay, these are the locations and all. But at the same time, my suggestion is that whenever we are sharing such photographs on any of these platforms or the public platforms, it's good to share it, with the license that is the Creative Commons license, because the moment you share it with the Creative Commons license, you are allowing other people to use your photograph. Obviously, they'll give credit to you that you're the original creator, or you're the one who has uploaded the photograph on the web. But if you really want that, it should contribute to the body of language, body of knowledge. So you should always upload your photograph with the Creative Commons license, so that it can be used in the research work, or maybe like in any of the work. Say for example, advertising agency people, they can use it. People who are working on certain projects, they can use it. So it's always advisable to release it under the Creative Commons license. And whenever you upload, all these platforms have this particular feature wherein they'll ask like what kind of license would you like to give to your image. So you have to just write the Creative Commons license there. Then comes the video sharing. Video is the very important tool nowadays. Many of us have actually stopped reading. We would like to view something, we would like to watch something, and especially like when we talk about the youngsters, those who are hooked on to their mobiles and all, they would like to watch a video rather than reading anything. So the video has actually emerged as a valuable tool for everyone. For the people who are there in education also, and for the people who are there in news also, for the people who are there in marketing or advertising also, because this is what actually works with the target audience. So when we are talking about the videos, there are three important things which it can do. One is that it can improve the user engagement. Obviously, when the video is there, so people will spend more time, watching that particular thing. Second is that it will create a brand awareness. And the third is that it will lead to the search engine optimization. We'll discuss about this later. Now, when you're talking about the improved user engagement, and if you look at this stats, and if you look at the average time spent on a page, so if the page has only text, the people tend to spend, around 4 minutes there. If you have image and text there, then they tend to spend some more time there. But if you have, the video only on that particular page, the chances are that the people will spend much more time there, which means that around 6 minutes there. And if you have the combination of all three, so they'll spend around 4.51 minutes there. So this is like, we can easily see here from this particular statistics that the people tend to spend more time on a page when the video is available on that particular page. Second is, when we talk about, evoking response. So this is the difference, when we write something or when we present something through the video, that's how the emotions and, the responses are evoked. For example, if you have a text message, so the first minute would be like the people will try to perceive, what exactly you have written there. 5 seconds, they'll spend, like finding out what is the meaning of that particular text. And then they'll spend, 5 seconds, and then this 10 seconds they'll devote on the evaluation of that meaning, and then the emotional response will be there. This is how we read text. But when you look at the video, the first second is the perception. We just perceive, what exactly have we watched. And the second stage is that emotional response. So which means that we are not wasting that much of time. And then the third is the appraisal of meaning and then the evaluation of meaning. So if we really want to have the emotional connection with our target audience, I think the video is a much, much better platform for that. If we want to have an example related to this, for example, this is an example of a cat. We have written something about a cat. So if you're reading it, so the first thing which comes is that, in 1 second, what you'll say that, okay, fine, I'm reading something about cat. The 5 seconds would be that you'll say that, okay, the cat is cute. And then the 10 second would be, I like cute cats. And then the 15 second would be in 15 second, you'll have that emotional response that is, oh, it's such a cute cat. But if you look at video, the first response will be that, it's a cute cat, that will be an emotional response. So if you really want to connect with your target audience, if you really want to evoke that emotions, then the video is a platform which you need to use. Also, through video, one is able to recreate the experience of being face-to-face with someone much better than through audio, image, or text. Second is through moving likeness and recorded image, we can display much of who we are. And for branding, this is extremely important as it allows companies to display a human side considerably more efficiently than through image, audio, and text. Then the third point was the search engine optimization. See, when you search something, when you type a search query, you get number of results on search engine result page. So out of those results, whenever you feel that, maybe out of 10 results, if there are 3 videos there, people tend to click on those videos more than the content which is available in the text form. So one is that, you can generate more traffic through the rich snippets. Link building is also very important because the people would like to give links to the videos rather than to the written text. Third is improving conversions, which means that if you can evoke that emotional response, then obviously it will help in conversions. And then the presence on the video search engines, which means that in addition to the search engine which you're using, you are also available, because it's a video medium, so you are also available on the video search engine. So that's how it will help in the search engine optimization. The best thing is that whenever people search content, they tend to look at video first, then the text. So it's always good to create, if we are in marketing or if we are in advertising, so it's good to have infographics, or if it's good to have the text or the display advertisements, but it's always advisable that we should have more of the video content, so that the people can watch as much they can. So now these are the certain platforms which we have talked about as far as the social media is concerned. So we talked about social bookmarking. There are 2 major social bookmarking platforms. So one is the Delicious and the Stumble Upon. We talked about the social news sharing. So we talked about the Reddit as a platform, Dig as a platform. Then we talked about the social networking. So in social networking, we talked about all these platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all. Now there are certain case studies, which means when we say that the social media has a huge potential, or it has a lot of power, so we have to tell them with certain case studies. And these are the case studies which I have with me, and I'll share it with you. The first one is the Whisper campaign, and we know that in India and in fact world over, there are a lot of taboos which are attached with the menstruation period, that particular period. And this was the campaign which was started by Whisper, and they started one particular page, and the name of the page was Touch the Pickle, because the one taboo is that during menstruation period you should not touch the pickle. And this is the page they have started, and the lot of interviews are there. The people gave a lot of interviews here, and the video was made on this particular thing, and it was uploaded on YouTube, and there are a lot of people who watched that particular thing. Basically, the whole idea and the objective of this particular campaign was to get all these people together and share their experiences. Now, this campaign, it ran for 10 weeks, and it was introduced through the video, which is called Touch the Pickle video. And it was first it was posted on Facebook and then went on to YouTube. And this campaign managed to reach more than 43 million people. So this is the power of social media. The second campaign is called MARD, which is Men Against Rape and Discrimination. This campaign was conceived after the murder of Mumbai-based lawyer in 2012, and it was started by Farhan Akhtar. It was launched by him to raise the social awareness against rape and discrimination of women by trying to change the popular meaning of mard or masculinity and give it a new definition. So this was another campaign, and it had the Facebook page also. This is their Facebook page, a solidarity movement for gender equality. This is their website, Become the Catalyst for Change. So this was one campaign, and this is another campaign which is called Video Volunteers. This is also a very interesting campaign, and in this, what they're doing is that they are actually empowering marginalized communities to produce their stories, which means that when we talk about the mainstream media, there are certain places and there are certain people who are actually not being covered by the mainstream media. So the whole idea of having this particular campaign or this particular initiative is to give voice to those people. Now, what is happening that these marginalized communities, what they are doing is, first they are being trained to create videos, produce videos, and then they are producing those videos. They are telling their stories through those videos, and then they are sharing those particular videos on YouTube. And with these videos, once they are shared on the YouTube, there are a lot of people who saw it, and they were able to reach on to certain solutions also. So this is their YouTube page. So there are 206 community correspondents for this. It is spread in 23 states, 2,000 villages are being covered. Till now, 2,000 videos have been uploaded on YouTube, and they have more than 10 lakh YouTube viewers. And if you want to know more about this, you can go to videovolunteers.org. Another initiative is of the Better India. Now, Better India is another initiative which means that, if you look at the mainstream media, you will see a lot of negative news. So this is a platform wherein, they are talking about, positive news, happy stories, unsung heroes, and this is their website. So you can get a lot of stuff which is available, and they're talking about something which is have made a difference in the society, which means something positive has been done in the society. They're covering those events, they're covering those people, and the people are also participating in this. They're also writing for the Better India. They're also contributing to this. So this is their Facebook page. So TBI publishes reports on people, ideas and projects and have impacted communities and brought about desirable social changes. There are 100 writers, and they use Twitter and Facebook extensively. Another very important platform is Blood Connection. This is for the blood donors and blood recipients. Many a times, whenever there is an accident, the people keep searching for the blood donors, but this has been created, and here what you can do is you can find blood donors by city, maps, by blood groups. There are already 7,400 registered donors here, and 715 people are contacted through this particular platform. So this is another platform, and this is the last and very interesting platform, which is Chotu Chai Wala. We've all heard, and we've all used this term in our offices. Whenever we want to have a tea, or whenever we want to have a chai, so we call a boy and we call that person a Chotu Chai Wala. And this is something which had happened in Mumbai. And here what they have done, that they have said that, one is that the people who are there in offices, they do not have that much of time to go out and have tea and come back. So what they did, they created a platform for these chai walas so that they can deliver chai in their offices. So we'll just have a look at this small video on this particular initiative. This is the power of social media, from helping chai walas to helping marginalized communities, changing government. It can do anything. And the only thing is that we have to use this particular platform judiciously. Thank you.
With this note, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so very much. And dear friends, we believe that you might have liked today's session. And if you want to give your feedback for this particular lecture, then you can mail us at info.cc@nic.in. And of course, if you have any queries, then also you can post your mails. We would be meeting again very soon. Till then, take care. Goodbye. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.